Hey everyone, thinking about sharing your love of baking, turning those awesome bread making skills into a business teaching private classes. It's a great time for that.
Yeah.
Artisanal bread, it's really having a moment. People are craving that authentic homemade experience.
Hmm.
We've got research here all about how to make this happen. Get ready because we're going to dive into everything.
All right.
Choosing the right equipment, crafting a menu, we'll get to all of that.
It's fascinating how this idea, it really taps into some big cultural shifts we're seeing.
Yeah.
We've got this growing interest in health and wellness, the whole slow food movement, and people want food that just tastes amazing.
Yeah,
Think about it. Wouldn't you rather have a crusty, flavorful loaf made with ingredients you can pronounce than something, mass-produced from the grocery store?
totally. Learning to bake bread, it gives you control over what you're eating. Plus, there's that satisfaction of the whole process. Kneading the dough, that incredible aroma that fills your kitchen.
Yeah, it's almost meditative, isn't it?
Yep.
But let's get practical, right? What I find really compelling about this business model is how accessible it is. You don't need a ton of capital to get started.
Exactly. Our sources mention you could literally start from your own kitchen. I mean, how cool is that?
Oh, absolutely.
You could travel to clients' homes, find a dedicated space, or even teach online. So much flexibility.
Yeah, that flexibility is a major advantage. You can tailor this business to your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tailoring, one thing that stood out in the research is the emphasis on quality equipment.
Yeah. They specifically mention professional-grade baking trays and loaf pans,
Right.
and the impact of using high-quality flour, yeast, and other ingredients.
Hmm.
But professional grade, what does that even mean for a home baker?
That's a great question. Think durability, heat distribution, overall performance.
Okay.
A good example would be investing in a Dutch oven, something like a lucrative. That's going to give your students those beautifully crusty loaves you just can't achieve with a standard baking sheet.
Yeah.
And when it comes to ingredients, the type of flour you use can make a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
King Arthur flour is a favorite among artisan bakers.
Oh, yeah.
Their bread flour has a higher protein content,
Oh,
helps develop that gluten structure, for chewy, flavorful bread.
interesting. So it's not just the tools themselves, but the quality and how they impact the final product.
Right.
I bet those details really elevate the learning experience for students, too.
Absolutely. It adds value to the classes, helps them achieve better results at home.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get everyone mixing and baking, we need to cover some essential legal and safety aspects. This is where things can get a bit tricky, especially when you're dealing with food.
Yeah, definitely don't want to skip this part. It's all about protecting yourself and your students.
For sure.
Where do we even begin?
Well, first and foremost, you'll need to make sure you are compliant with all local regulations. That means securing the necessary business licenses, which vary depending on your location. You can usually find information on your city or county's website.
Makes sense. Is there anything else we should be aware of?
Food safety certification is a must.
Oh, okay.
Demonstrates your commitment to hygiene and safe food handling practices.
Right.
ServeSafe is a widely recognized program. It offers food safety training and certification.
Okay.
It's a great investment for any food-based business.
So ServeSafe is something our listener could look into.
Mm-hmm.
What about liability insurance? That seems like a pretty important consideration as well.
You're absolutely right. Liability insurance protects you in case a student has an allergic reaction or gets injured during a class. It's essential for peace of mind
Yeah.
and minimizing risk.
Yeah.
And speaking of risk, if you're using your home kitchen for classes, you'll want to make sure it meets all the health department standards.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got the legal and safety side covered. Now, for the fun part, designing the actual bread baking classes. What kind of classes can we offer?
The possibilities are truly endless. You could offer classic beginner classes. For those who are just starting out, teaching them the fundamentals of yeast breads, kneading techniques, and basic shaping.
Okay.
Then there are more specialized workshops. Sourdough is incredibly popular right now.
Yeah.
Or you could focus on artisan loaves using ancient grains like spelt or einkorn.
I love those ideas. We
Yeah.
even have sources here that talk about gluten-free options, dietary-specific classes. It's amazing how many different directions you can take this.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about something unique like a class on creating decorative bread sculptures?
That's fantastic. The more unique and specialized your classes are, the better you'll be able to stand out. It's all about finding your niche
Yeah.
and catering to those specific interests. Speaking of catering, have you thought about different formats? like family-friendly sessions or even corporate team-building events.
Ooh, those are great ideas. I can already picture a group of colleagues bonding over a perfectly proofed loaf. It
Right.
seems like having a variety of class formats, that's a smart strategy. For attracting a wider audience,
Yeah.
creating multiple income streams.
Exactly. It's about being creative and tapping into what people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where choosing the right location comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Each location has its pros and cons that you need to consider carefully.
Okay, so let's break down those location options. We already talked about using your own kitchen, but wouldn't that limit the number of students you can accommodate?
That's a valid point. A home kitchen might be great for starting small,
Yeah.
keeping costs low,
Mm.
but as you grow, you might need a larger space,
Okay.
renting a commercial kitchen or a dedicated baking studio.
Mm-hmm.
That could offer a more professional setup and allow you to host bigger groups.
I can see how a dedicated space would add a level of legitimacy,
For sure.
create a more immersive experience. What about teaching in clients' homes?
That's a great option for those who value convenience
Yeah.
and personalized attention.
Mm.
It allows you to tailor the class to their specific needs and equipment. But it can involve more travel time and logistical challenges.
So many factors to consider. But that's also what makes this business model so adaptable, right?
Right.
You can find the setup that best suits your style and target audience. Okay, now for the all-important question.
Right?
How do we price these classes for profit?
Yes.
We've got all these great ideas,
hmm
but we need to make sure it's financially sustainable.
Pricing is a key ingredient for success.
Mm-hmm.
You need to strike a balance between covering your costs, ingredients, equipment, any rental fees,
Okay.
fairly compensating yourself for your time and expertise.
Yeah.
You also need to consider what the market will bear. Let's look at some examples from the research.
I'm all ears. What kind of price ranges are we talking about?
Well, for a small group class, you could charge anywhere from $50 to $100 per person per session. Depends on the length and complexity of the class.
Okay.
Private lessons, where you're providing one-on-one instruction, could range from $80 to $200 per session. And for those corporate workshops, you could potentially charge $300 to $1,000, depending on the size of the group and the specific requirements.
Interesting. Those are great benchmarks to keep in mind. But how do we determine the right pricing for our specific classes and location?
Researching what other baking instructors in your area are charging is a good starting point. Also consider the perceived value of your classes.
Okay.
If you're teaching unique techniques using premium ingredients, you can justify a higher price point.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to factor in your travel expenses if you're teaching in clients' homes.
Right. You don't want to undersell yourself.
Exactly.
But you also need to be competitive, appeal to your target market.
Exactly.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
It is.
Okay, so we've got our delicious bread, a professional setup, our pricing figured out. Now, how do we get people excited about our classes and actually get them through the door? This is where marketing comes in, right?
Marketing is absolutely essential. You need to create a brand that reflects your passion, your unique style, and the value you offer to students.
Okay, I'm all ears. Where do we even begin with building a brand?
Well, first things first,
Okay.
a professional website is non-negotiable.
Okay.
Think of it as your digital storefront, where potential students can learn about you, browse your classes, and book their spots.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to make a great first impression.
All right, so we need a website. What are the key ingredients for a website that actually converts visitors into paying students?
Clarity is key.
Mm-hmm.
People need to be able to easily understand what types of classes you offer, your schedule, pricing, how to sign up. And of course, we can't forget those mouth-watering photos.
Photos of those golden brown, perfectly crusted loaves.
Yeah, those are important.
I'm already sold. Is it worth investing in professional photography for our website and marketing materials?
High-quality images are absolutely essential.
Okay.
For showcasing your skills, enticing potential students, professional photography can definitely elevate your brand.
Yeah.
But if you're on a budget, you can also learn some basic food styling techniques and take great photos yourself.
Those are great tips. What about using video?
Mm.
I feel like that could be really engaging for showcasing what your classes are like.
Video is an incredibly powerful tool for bringing your brand to life. Connecting with potential students. You can share behind-the-scenes snippets of your classes, quick baking tips, or even create full-blown online courses.
Mm-hmm.
Platforms like Instagram and TikTok
Yeah.
are perfect for short, engaging videos, while YouTube is ideal for longer-form content.
So many options.
There are.
It sounds like we could really get creative with content marketing, but digital marketing isn't everything, right? What about connecting with our local community, building those relationships?
You're absolutely right. Partnering with local businesses can be a fantastic way to reach a wider audience. Build credibility. Think about collaborating with coffee shops, restaurants, or even food bloggers.
Okay, I like that.
You could offer a bread-making class paired with a coffee tasting,
Oh,
or a special menu featuring your bread at a local restaurant.
those are great ideas. And what about attending farmers markets or local food festivals?
That's a fantastic way to get your name out there.
Yeah.
Offer samples of your bread, connect with potential students face-to-face.
Right, it's all about creating those personal connections
Yes.
and getting people excited about the experience you offer. Speaking of experiences, what are some tips for creating a memorable and engaging learning experience for our students?
We're going to dive into that more in the next part of our deep dive. But for now, let's leave our listener with this.
All right.
What kind of unique twist would you bring to the world of bread baking classes?
Welcome back. Last time, we talked about all those things to think about when starting a bread making business.
Right.
The legal stuff, equipment, even pricing. Now we're going to get into the heart of what makes those classes special.
It's more than just teaching techniques, you know. It's about creating an experience, a whole experience that students will love and remember.
That's where branding comes in, right?
Yeah.
We touched on it briefly last time. I'm curious to dig deeper into how to build a brand that stands out.
A strong brand is like a delicious sourdough starter.
Okay.
It's got depth, complexity. It leaves people wanting more. It's about showcasing your passion, your unique style, and the value you bring to the table.
So how do we go about creating that irresistible brand identity? I'm imagining something that's both professional but also inviting, something that makes people want to just grab their aprons and start baking.
Think about what makes you different.
Yeah.
Do you specialize in a particular type of bread?
Okay.
Maybe you're all about organic ingredients, heirloom grains, or maybe your classes are just known for being super fun and laid back.
I love that. It's about finding your niche, letting your personality shine through.
Right.
Do you have any examples of how someone might do that?
Absolutely.
Ah.
Let's say you are really passionate about sourdough. You've perfected those, crusty, tangy loaves.
Mhm.
Your brand could revolve around that expertise.
Yeah.
You could call yourself the sourdough whisperer and use imagery of those rustic loaves and bubbling starters in your marketing.
I love that. The sourdough whisperer sounds so intriguing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you've identified your unique selling proposition, you need to weave that in at every aspect of your business, from your website and social media to the way you interact with students.
So it's about consistency, making sure everything feels cohesive, authentic to your brand.
Precisely. Consistency is key.
Okay.
Think about the overall experience you want to create. Do you want your classes to be small and intimate,
Mm-hmm.
where everyone gets hands-on experience? Or maybe you're more comfortable with a demonstration style approach,
Yeah.
where you're guiding students through each step.
Those are great examples, and I bet those decisions, they would influence the type of space you choose for your classes as well. A small, cozy kitchen might be perfect for those intimate classes, while a larger studio could accommodate that demonstration-style setup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All these elements work together to create a cohesive brand identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's about thinking holistically.
All right, so we've got our brand identity figured out. Now let's talk marketing.
Go on.
We've got to get the word out about these amazing classes.
Marketing is like the yeast that makes your business rise.
Yeah.
You need a multifaceted approach, combines digital and traditional methods.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, a professional website is your digital storefront.
Yeah.
It's the first place potential students will go to learn about you and your classes. It needs to be visually appealing, easy to navigate, and have a clear call to action.
What's that mean, a clear call to action?
Make it super easy for people to sign up for your classes. Have a prominent button on your homepage that says something like, "Book your class now."
Hmm.
And don't forget to include those mouth-watering photos.
Oh, yeah. Those close-ups of those perfectly proofed loaves, golden brown, and just begging to be sliced.
Mm.
I bet those are worth 1,000 words when it comes to marketing.
Absolutely. High-quality photos are a must.
Yeah.
You want people to practically smell the bread through their screens.
Mm-hmm.
Think about incorporating video as well.
Okay.
Short, behind-the-scenes clips on Instagram or TikTok can be super engaging.
I love that. Showcasing the energy, the excitement of the classes.
Right.
What else can we do to make our marketing stand out?
Content marketing is your secret weapon. Think about creating blog posts, articles about different bread-making techniques, sharing recipes, or even highlighting the stories behind the breads that you teach.
Yeah.
It's a way to establish yourself as an expert, provide valuable content that draws people in.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about selling classes, it's about sharing your passion, knowledge.
Right.
What about collaborations? We talked about those last time.
Collaborations are a fantastic way to expand your reach, connect with new audiences, partnering with complementary businesses.
Okay.
Coffee shops, specialty food stores, or even local chefs can open up a whole world of possibilities.
I love the idea of a bread and cheese pairing class. Or maybe a workshop where you teach people how to make the perfect bread bowl for soup.
Now you're thinking like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Get creative. See what partnerships make sense for your brand. And don't underestimate the power of word-of-mouth marketing.
Word of mouth is like the sourdough starter of marketing,
Yeah.
right? It's all about that organic growth and those personal recommendations.
Exactly. Encourage your students to spread the word.
Yeah.
Offer referral discounts, or simply ask them to share their experiences on social media.
Right. Happy students are your best ambassadors.
Hmm.
Now let's talk about the classes themselves. What are some tips for creating an experience that students will just rave about?
Preparation is key. Think about it like baking bread. You wouldn't start without having all your ingredients measured out, your equipment ready.
Right.
Plan your lessons carefully, make sure you have all the necessary supplies. Think about the flow of the class.
So organization is key. What about the actual teaching? How do we strike that balance between being informative and also making it fun and engaging? I once took a cooking class that felt like a college lecture.
Oh, yeah.
It was so dry and boring.
I hear you. No one wants to feel like they're back in school.
Yeah.
Let your passion shine through. Enthusiasm is contagious, and it will make the learning process more enjoyable for everyone.
I love that. It's about creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere
Yes?
where people feel comfortable asking questions, making mistakes, and just having fun.
Exactly. Remember, everyone starts somewhere.
Hmm.
Be patient with your students.
Yeah.
Offer encouragement. Celebrate their successes no matter how small.
I'm picturing a class where everyone is laughing.
Hmm.
Their hands are covered in flour. They're genuinely excited to be there.
Yeah.
What about those aha moments? When something finally clicks for a student, that's got to be incredibly rewarding as a teacher.
Those aha moments are pure magic.
Yeah.
It's why we teach. But let's not forget about the practical side of things.
Right. We can't get too caught up in the flower-dusted daydreams and forget about the business side of things.
Right.
What else do we need to know to make sure this venture is actually profitable?
We talked about pricing in the last part. But there's more to financial management than just setting a price tag. You need to track your expenses carefully.
Okay, I am ready to take notes. What kind of expenses should we be tracking?
Everything. From the obvious stuff like ingredients, supplies, marketing costs, to things like utilities if you're using your home kitchen, rental fees if you're using a dedicated space.
Okay.
Keep track of every penny.
That seems like a lot to juggle.
It can be.
Any tips for staying organized?
Spreadsheets are your friend.
Oh, okay.
Create a simple system for tracking your income and expenses. And as your business grows, you might consider investing in accounting software,
Okay.
even hiring a bookkeeper to help you stay on top of things.
Makes sense, especially if you're teaching multiple classes.
Right.
Selling bread at markets or expanding into other areas.
Speaking of expansion, let's revisit those opportunities we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Remember, this business is all about growth and evolution.
Yes. I'm eager to hear more about how we can take things to the next level. Where do we start?
Start by thinking about what excites you. What other aspects of bread making are you passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could introduce specialty classes on sourdough techniques, ancient grains, or even decorative bread shaping.
And as those classes gain traction, we could think about creating online courses, collaborating with other businesses.
Exactly. It's about building a bread-making empire, one delicious loaf at a time.
I love that vision. But as we grow, how do we make sure we're not sacrificing quality or burning ourselves out?
That's a great question. Sustainable growth is essential. One approach is to start small and gradually introduce new offerings.
Okay.
Don't try to do everything at once. And as your business expands, think about delegating tasks.
Like hiring an assistant to help with administrative tasks, social media management.
Exactly. Freeing up your time allows you to focus on what you do best.
Yeah.
Baking amazing bread and sharing your passion with others.
Now, before we move on, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something truly special about this business idea.
Hmm.
It's not just about, profit margins and spreadsheets.
Right.
It's about sharing a love of bread making with others.
You're absolutely right. There's something deeply satisfying about passing on a skill that has been enjoyed for centuries.
Hmm.
About connecting with people through the shared love of good bread.
It's about building community,
Hmm.
nourishing both body and soul. And who knows, maybe our students will go on to inspire others with their newfound bread baking skills.
Yeah,
It's like creating a ripple effect of deliciousness.
I love that. Now, are you ready to delve into some of those more advanced techniques?
Yes.
Troubleshooting tips.
Absolutely. I'm eager to learn more about sourdough, tackling those common bread making challenges and discovering those, secret tips that'll take our baking to the next level.
Join us for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore the secrets of sourdough, conquer those baking blunders, and equip you with the knowledge to become a true bread-making master.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of bread making businesses. We've covered a lot of ground from building your brand to marketing your classes. Now it's time to, roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty of baking.
That's right. We're going to delve into some advanced techniques, tackle common bread-making challenges, and share some of our favorite resources for those aspiring baking entrepreneurs.
I'm excited to get into those doughy details.
Yeah.
And speaking of dough, we can't talk about advanced bread making without mentioning the one and only sourdough.
Ah, sourdough, the bread that is both revered and feared.
Revered for its complex flavors and that irresistible tang,
Mhm.
but feared for its, finicky nature and the rumors of those sourdough starter rituals.
Sourdough definitely has this kind of air of mystique about it, but once you understand the basics, it's not as intimidating as it seems.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are the key things our listeners need to know if they want to conquer the sourdough beast?
It all starts with the starter,
Okay.
that magical blend of flour and water that ferments and develops those unique sourdough flavors.
Mm-hmm.
It's a living culture of wild yeasts and bacteria, which means it needs to be fed regularly, treated with care.
So it's like having a pet that you bake with.
Kind of. A well-maintained sourdough starter is the foundation of successful sourdough baking. It's what gives the bread its characteristic tang and texture.
And how do we know if our starter is healthy and happy?
A healthy starter will be bubbly and active, with a slightly sour aroma. It should double in size after being fed. If your starter is sluggish, smells off, it might need some TLC.
TLC for our sourdough pets, noted.
Yes.
Now, once we have a thriving starter, what's next?
Then comes the fun part. Mixing, kneading, shaping, and proofing the dough. Sourdough doughs tend to be wetter and stickier than those made with commercial yeast, so it takes some practice to get the feel for it.
I've heard that sourdough is all about patience. Is that true?
Patience is definitely a virtue when it comes to sourdough. The dough needs time to ferment, develop those complex flavors.
Okay.
Don't rush the process.
So we're embracing the slow food movement in all its glory.
Yes.
Any other tips for beginners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed?
Don't be afraid to experiment. Every loaf is a learning experience. Embrace the imperfections. And remember, there are tons of resources available to help you along the way.
Speaking of resources, let's shift gears and talk about troubleshooting those common bread-making challenges. Even seasoned bakers, I think, have those moments when things just don't go according to plan.
Baking is a science, but it's also an art. There are so many variables that can affect the outcome of your bread.
Yeah, like a loaf that just stubbornly refuses to rise, or a crust that's more like a brick than a crispy delight. Those are the moments that make you want to throw in the towel.
I've been there. But before you give up on your bread-making dreams, let's talk about some of those common blunders and how to fix them.
All right, I'm ready to troubleshoot. Give me your best bread-making wisdom.
One common issue is dough that's too dry or too wet.
Mm-hmm.
If your dough feels like a brick, it might need more hydration.
Okay.
Try adding like a tablespoon of water at a time until it becomes more pliable.
And what if the dough is like super sticky and impossible to handle?
Then you might need to add a bit more flour, a tablespoon at a time, until it reaches the desired consistency. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that Goldilocks zone of doughy perfection.
Doughy perfection, that's what we're aiming for.
Yes.
What about overproofing? I've heard that can lead to some, disastrous results.
Overproofing can cause loaves to collapse in the oven, resulting in those dreaded flatbreads.
Yeah.
It happens when the dough has risen for too long and the gluten structure has weakened.
Okay. So how do we avoid that heartbreaking fate?
Paying close attention to the dough's rise is crucial. Learn to recognize the signs of a properly proofed loaf.
Okay.
You should have almost doubled in size and spring back slowly when you poke it gently with your finger.
The poke test.
Yes.
That's a good one. Any other common bread making pitfalls we should be aware of?
Underbaking is another mistake that beginners often make. If the bread isn't baked thoroughly, it can be dense and gummy in the center.
Okay.
To make sure your bread is cooked through, use an instant read thermometer. Check the internal temperature.
What temperature should we be aiming for?
For most breads, the internal temperature should reach around 190 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. Armed with that knowledge, I'm feeling much more confident about tackling those baking challenges.
Good.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive, I want to hear about those resources you mentioned earlier.
I'm happy to share some of my favorite books, websites, organizations that have helped me on my bread making journey.
I'm ready to expand my bread making library.
For a comprehensive guide to bread making techniques, I highly recommend Flour, Water, Salt, Yeast by Ken Forkish.
Oh,
It's a classic for a reason.
I've heard great things about that book, adding it to my list.
And for those who are interested in the science behind bread making, The Bread Baker's Apprentice by Peter Reinhardt is a fantastic resource.
What about online resources? There's so much information out there, it can be kind of overwhelming.
It can. The King Arthur Baking Company website is a treasure trove. Recipes, techniques, baking inspiration.
Oh, yeah?
They have a fantastic blog, a helpful online community, even offer online baking classes.
King Arthur Baking Company, definitely a go-to resource for all things bread.
It is.
Any other online communities you recommend?
The Perfect Loaf website.
Okay.
It's run by a sourdough expert, and it's packed with helpful articles, videos, and a supportive forum where you can connect with other bakers.
Perfect. I'm feeling inspired and ready to take my bread making to the next level.
Great.
But what about the business side of things? Are there any resources specifically for those aspiring bread making entrepreneurs?
For business advice tailored to food entrepreneurs, I recommend checking out the Small Business Administration (SBA) website. They offer free resources and counseling services to help small businesses get started and thrive.
That's incredibly helpful. So many valuable resources to guide us on this bread making adventure.
There are.
And remember, the world of bread baking is constantly evolving, so never stop learning,
Right.
experimenting, and sharing your passion.
Well said. We've covered so much in this deep dive, from the fundamentals of sourdough to the intricacies of building a successful bread-making business.
We've explored marketing strategies, troubleshooting tips, and even delved into the psychology of creating a memorable customer experience.
Yeah.
But most importantly, we hope we've inspired you to take that leap of faith and turn your love of bread making into a thriving business.
Remember, with passion, dedication, and a willingness to learn, you can create a business that nourishes both your soul and your bank account.
So go forth, bake those loaves, and share the joy of bread with the world.
Happy baking!
And thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive.